Conditional sentences in English with Jennifer.
Let's go over your answers to the tasks from the previous lesson, okay? I asked you to look at 3 statements. Are the verb forms correct in the conditional sentences? The statements show 3 conversational expressions that use real conditionals. The expressions are, correct me if I'm wrong, but, if I'm not mistaken, if you're so smart, then. So that first sentence doesn't need that progressive verb. We say, correct me if I'm wrong, but, when we're almost certain we have the correct information, but we're giving the listener a chance to tell us that we've made a mistake or misunderstood. What follows can be in the past, present, or future. Look at these examples. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't she major in Russian? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't she majoring in Russian? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't she going to major in Russian? The second sentence uses the simple past, mistook, but we need the past participle, mistaken. This second expression is similar to our first. We say, if I'm not mistaken, when we're quite certain we have the correct information, but there is room for a little doubt. If I'm not mistaken, she's originally from Australia. If I'm not mistaken, she was born in Australia. If I'm not mistaken, she's moving to Australia next month. So you see that the information we have can be about any time period. The third expression also uses the simple present in the if clause. Not if you were so smart, but if you are so smart. The contraction, you're. If you're so smart, then. Note that this can be very rude. It's basically an accusation that someone doesn't have the skill or knowledge to do something. If you're so smart, you do it. I think you'll have just as much trouble as I did. This means that I don't think you're that smart. In fact, you're no smarter than me. A question or a demand follows in the result clause. If you're so smart, then how come Gary won and you didn't? If you're so smart, then tell me why you lost. Now let's talk about the bonus question. Will anything bad happen if you don't charge your cell phone? This is another type of real conditional. But what time frame? Will happen. The future, right? So now we're talking about real or likely situations in the future. If a condition is met, something will likely happen. We can use will or be going to in the main clause, the result clause. In our if clause, we use the present tense, even though we're talking about the future. Let's see if you use the correct verb forms in your future conditionals.
Let's look at your answers to my question, what will happen if you don't charge your cell phone? Mahmoud wrote, if I don't charge my cell phone, I might miss very important calls. A true possibility. Aimano wrote, if I don't charge my phone, I can't watch Jennifer's next episode. I'm glad that's one of your concerns. Lucas responded, and the first time he wrote, if I don't charge my cell phone, I wouldn't be able to take the bus, eat, or buy anything. And I said that his example should either be entirely real or entirely unreal, hypothetical. So Lucas self-corrected and did a great job. He rewrote it as, if I don't charge my cell phone, I can't take the bus, eat, or buy anything, because the country where I live, we use our cell phones as e-wallets, and they've become so popular that most shops accept only e-money instead of cash. Right? Now it makes sense, it's all real. And depending on the context, the grammar works for either a real situation, like a general truth, or a likely situation in the future. We just need more context, but the grammar now is correct. Good job. Aljosh wrote, if I don't charge my cell phone, then it will turn off, and I'll get to communicate physically with others around me. True. We do so much digital communication. If you don't charge your phone, you won't be able to do that. Next example, if I don't charge my cell phone, I can't make any appointments because all the numbers are in the cell phone list, right, in your contacts. Good point. This is like Lucas's example. The grammar's correct, and we would need more context to understand if this is a general truth, a fact about the present, or if this is a likely situation, something that will happen in the future if we don't charge the phone. But the grammar is correct. Sean wrote, if I don't charge my cell phone, it will run out of power and switch off automatically. So I will miss friends' calls and some other communication or information. I'd choose one of these, like and some other information. All right, good job. Susanna, your example is, if I don't charge my cell phone, then I won't be able to communicate with my friends or family. And, let's stick in the subject again, and I might even lose some good job opportunities. True, it's not just for personal use, right? We need our cell phones for business too. Let's look at Gabriel's example. He wrote, of course it will. If I don't charge my cell phone, I won't be able to interact with you and the other students on your Facebook page. Good example. The grammar is correct, and I'm glad you thought of that. That we would not want that situation to happen. So thank you for charging your cell phone. Marcelo shared an example. He wrote, well, if I don't charge my cell phone, or mobile phone, rather, because my background is British English, I may have problems with the TSA guy at the airport because, as far as I know, they want to be able to turn your devices on for security reasons. Yes, that is a tip for tourists, and this is a real possibility. You could have problems. You will have problems at the airport if you don't charge your phone and they can't check it to see if it's functioning correctly and normally. Yeah, I would change this last part, Marcelo, and make it a little less wordy. The grammar's correct, but let's say, because as far as I know, how about they need to turn your devices on for security reasons. And in our last example, Bahar wrote, if I don't charge my cell phone, I can enjoy a day without the wonder of thinking about the new notifications from WhatsApp, calls, and social media. Let's take this one away. We don't need that word. If I don't charge my cell phone, I can enjoy a day without the wonder of thinking about the notifications from WhatsApp, calls, and social media. Maybe that's a good possibility to consider.
Great job, everyone. As you saw, we can use modal verbs in the result clause as well. The modal verbs may and might help us refer to future possibilities. Can and can't help us talk about what we will be able to do or what we won't be able to do. When we make predictions about the future, we sometimes base our guess on a present situation. So the condition is in the present and the result is in the future. In this case, you may see different present tense verb forms in the if clause. Consider all these examples. If you like lessons on culture, you'll enjoy my playlist on American culture. If you've seen my lesson about random choices, you'll know how to do a coin toss with an American. If you're waiting for unreal conditionals, then you'll love what I have planned for next month. In our next lesson, we'll finish talking about real conditionals. Here's your next task. We'll go over the answers in the next lesson. Answer my questions. 1. Is the following sentence a conditional sentence about the future? 2. Look, do these two sentences mean the same thing? And here's the bonus task, the one you can answer in the comments. Remember, if you post your examples, I'll likely use them in my next video. Your bonus task is to complete these sentences with your own ideas. I'll see you again soon for our next lesson on conditionals. Please remember to like this video and subscribe. That's all for now. Thanks for watching and happy studies.
Remember to join me on Twitter for vocabulary practice. I'm there Monday through Friday. And if you follow me on Facebook, you can try different language tasks throughout the week.